Morning. Yes. And what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've talked the whole night.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Roast. And I am, of course, your roast host with the most, Mr. Keno Subway. And with me, of course, is my fellow host, my ambassador from the Great North, Mr. Sim.
The most from the host.
Sure,
What's
Sim.
up?
And as always, in the chat, we have our chat host, Mr. Soul Ion, and he says, "Welcome to the Morning Roast, where we have a guest with a French-sounding name that Chris will pronounce, so I don't have to. Bonjour." Whatever that is.
Bizarre oiseau comique, meaning weird, funny bird.
Hey, if you could pronounce Alpha Male Champion, you could pronounce my name, fella.
I don't know. It says you're made out of glass. Doesn't sound alpha male to me.
I'm actually the fast one, thank you. I get in and out. I get what I want, I get out. See, the fast one.
Yeah, vite for fast. There's no R. What the R means glass.
Funny thing is you probably know more about my name than I do because I wasn't raised in the LeVitre family, so I have no idea much about it at all, except my dad spread a seed everywhere. And
You're telling me
luckily
that
one
your
of them
name-
turned out really great.
Come on, you have to at least have learned a little bit of French. A little bit. Like, voulez-vous
Merci.
coucher avec moi ce soir? You know that one, right?
Nah, no.
Ce soir. He's
Well,
like,
the other half of me is
I'm not gonna give it.
the other
All right,
half
all
of me is Scottish, and I seem to get the Scots. I understand the Scots really well, so I think maybe I'm more Scottish than French. I don't know.
All right, so
So French last name, Scottish blood. Are you fucking Canadian?
Yes, I am the master race.
Okay.
well, then you're not Canadian because
The show goes back to the host now.
then if you're Master Race, you're not Canadian because our Canadian can't even get up on time.
I am
seeing
up on
this.
time. You're the one that's fucking late, you cunt.
No, I've been in here was in here waiting on you.
Yeah,
says
man.
the fucking thing at like 11:22.
I'm a witness, Sim. Kimo Sabiwe and I were in here hanging
You
out.
were gone
Where the
taking
hell
some
Sim?
water.
By the way, I'm a huge fan of your book, The Company Men. Great book.
I need to get him on
Yeah,
this.
the reviews he does, they're awesome. I love your
They are.
reviews.
But what's weird, like, is the Aussie thing your like character you play, or is this the character? You got me confused.
Yeah, I like to. I'm like Two-Face.
That's what he sounds like when he drinks 3 coffees.
I'm on my second. We'll see what I sound like here pretty soon on my third.
But yeah, so to formally introduce, I guess. Oh lordy. Oh, let's see who all was in the chat here. We got David Feed. He says Greg LeVitre reminds me of Razor Fist for some reason.
That sounds pretty alpha male champion to me, so I'm right there with you.
I've never actually watched that Razor Fist fella's stuff.
I haven't either.
Frog G was in the chat. He said everyone should sign up for this one, a phenomenal book. Oh.
Thank you.
And Dave is saying there's some big stuff coming from Sim and Greg this year, and it's going to be awesome. Yes, it will.
Yeah, we have
Yes.
Mr. Dave with us. Hey, Dave.
Chaotic
Hey.
Neutral. Keno,
Hey,
Sim
we got-
Greg. Sup, guys? Good morning. Good morning.
We got Bristolian Dave here. What's up, fella? How you
Yep.
doing today?
That's who I meant by
Hey, man.
Dave.
I
That guy.
don't see an all right me babbers from Dave. What the
That's
You
why
did-
I didn't notice him right away.
yeah? What the
I
hell's going
know.
on here?
I'm going through the hey Frog G.
He must still be.
Did I join the wrong
That's
chat?
not-
I don't
yeah.
understand most of it. How's
Mr.
everyone?
Vic King.
No.
Vic King, what up, bro? Hope you guys
Soul
are having a
says,
good
I
morning.
knew that the Troubadour would be a fun guest. Oh lordy. Oh, Dave says Master Race. You mean British?
Ooh. Yeah, well, the Scottish, might have something to say about that.
Well, I would
Yeah,
say
but if you rely to everything, let's just put an end to it, okay? If Master Race, we all come from Africa. Shut up.
well, I would say that if the British were the master race, they'd still have their empire.
So Dave
Or
just
do they?
all right, me babbers. Got me on sticks there. There you
Oh
go.
hell, we got Soul
Can't
Lion
neutral.
and Yodam Darkstar here. What up, Yodam?
Oh, Yodam's here.
Yeah,
Yeah, hail Yodam.
these are my
Yodam
boys,
is-
man. I'm glad you guys are here.
Yodam and Souls are regulars. He says, I'll call Chris Hoagie to better distinct between the two. Oh, I really could go for a Hoagie. That's good.
What's a hoogie?
I know a guy named Hoagie. He's a real badass.
Hoagie's like a sub, Sim.
A sub?
God, you damn
It's a
Canadian.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like a sub. Like
Fucking
a sub.
sandwich.
I know what
Sam.
a
Come
sub
on,
I know
man.
is.
what a sub is.
It's called a hoogie? You call that a hoogie? Thought it was a cigar.
Call it
Fuck.
like a
Are you in
jughead.
Canada or Africa? What's going on here? Because Canada's
Where are
USA
you?
Light. I mean, that's
Yeah.
USA Light. How do you not know this stuff? I don't believe you. You're
You mean
fucking with us.
USA 2.0, the better version? Mm, keep
Okay,
not
Mr. Pronoun Country.
keep poking.
Mr. Pronoun, you better use those pronouns or you're going to jail, fella. Because we can't have that up here in Canada.
They tried. Doesn't work.
I'm not a patriot anyways. This country's a fucking mess. Canada's a fucking mess. Every country's a mess. Well,
Yep.
now that is a beautiful sight right there. That's been almost a year in the works.
Remember when we used to be proud of them?
No.
There we go. Good look at the picture here.
So I'll go over a little bit in my world here. Gun Demon is set in a world where heaven and hell are planets. They're not supernatural places, and the angels and devils and demons are not supernatural beings. They're extraterrestrials. And these planets are connected to Earth by a series of gateways that those with the proper tech can access. And what basically happens, you got the war between the planets heaven and hell going on Earth as the battlefield for thousands of years. And out of all of this, the newest mission from hell to attack Earth is they create a new type of humanoid demon, and they send 3 of them to Earth. One of them is who becomes the gun demon here. He makes some friends, plays video games, and feels joy for the first time, and says, "This is much better than hell. I don't want to I don't want to work for those assholes anymore. They were mean to me." So he hangs out, makes friends with some humans. The poor little guy tries to figure out what life is like on Earth. It's kind of like a Starman, K-Pax kind of feel in a way at times, because he's a stranger in a strange land.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets wrapped up in the war. He's unwittingly gets thrust into it, and then that's where the big guy comes in. You see right there on the cover. That's Abaddon, and he's going to be a reoccurring villain. Without spoiling anything, I've developed him so that he can come back bigger and stronger later. So, said Nocon and I developed that character, and I'm really, really proud of him.
Yeah,
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, so Abaddon's going to be a recurring character then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so our gun demon friend here, is he a hybrid? You said he was a humanoid demon, so is he like a hybrid between human and demon then?
Oh, he's genetically engineered, and he's basically a humanoid shape, like the first model that's in that sort of shape. If you want to show the Destroyer Demon image that I sent you.
Okay, hold on a minute.
This is a new reveal here. This is designed by Carlos Villas. He's my creature designer, and
There we go.
this gives you an idea of what the demons, some of the demons look like. This is the heavy cavalry of the demon army right here, the destroyer demon. And the person you see standing there is 6 foot tall for scale, so you get an idea of the size.
Yeah, that looks wicked.
Carlos is amazing.
So this is like their shock and awe, unit, in the army here.
These boys play cleanup. About three of these would give Hulk some trouble.
Hey,
That gives
Greg,
you an idea. Yeah.
Soul is calling you out on your bullshit.
Uh-oh.
Obvious self-insert. The goatee gives it away.
That's a vagina chin, thank you. I earned it by
And
dipping.
dude-
We won't go into detail how I earned it, but that's the
You don't know-
vagina chin.
You don't know how right you are, Soul. You don't know how many pictures he sent me of that fucking goatee when I did that drawing of Gun Demon. Like every fucking angle, close up. Even like, dude, he had a picture of one hair.
So Greg's goatee is like my nose. It's gotta
Yeah.
be perfect.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you got it wrong. Do it again.
I have a mole. Let's see it. That's there. You barely see it, but it's there.
That's the different shade of color.
I think in this case, the guy who designed Gunny, my protagonist, his buddies end up naming him Gunny because they think Gun Demon is too impersonal, and so the guy who designed Gunny, I think he might have did that on purpose. Put that in there because of my goatee. It's James Dean Anderson who designed him. And by the way, his design it's probably about 50% better than what my original vision was for the character. He was the perfect guy to design that character. Just really brought him to life. What I've ran into, I've hired several artists to do different work, different commissions and such, and I've noticed that most of the artists have trouble drawing him with the childlike features. They draw him more mature and like really tough and mean looking. And he gets that way later as he grows. He's going to grow over these books. He's basically in his toddler stage right now. So it was amazing to me when I first saw the design that James did, because he totally nailed that youthful look, but yet he still looks tough. Like, he can fight. That's what we were going for. It was perfect design.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. You kind of want to give him that fresh-faced and naive kind of appearance.
Because he absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as a weapon goes, a warrior goes, he's very advanced. He's experienced. He's got a year of living in hell fighting these destroyer demons for training. So, he can fight. He's tough. He's got the instincts. He's got he knows how to survive. But when he comes to Earth and people are speaking English and he only understands maybe a dozen words, and he sees all these weird things like clothing and all this other stuff, it's all alien. So he's very much like a child. Everything's amazing to him. The first thing he sees that is amazing is these homeless guys sitting around a black and white TV with a cracked screen in an alleyway, and they're playing an Atari 2600. They're playing Berserk, and and he's totally amazed by it. It's the coolest thing he's ever seen, because play doesn't exist in hell. All that exists in hell is pain and torment and suffering. So that's the first time he ever feels joy, and that's the first thing that changes him. One thing that's different about him than from the other demons is that he was given a little bit of human DNA so that he develops a limbic system in his brain, so that he has an emotional center. That's the one difference mainly between him and those others of the same model type.
Okay.
So that's why he looks different. That's why, and he's also an enhanced model, because the other ones were matured quickly. And in his case, God, I got somebody knocking on the door. Can you fucking believe this? Right in the middle of a stream. Jesus.
Well, if you need to go get that, it's understandable.
It might be my girlfriend locked out.
Oh gosh. Oh, I hope not.
Sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go check that out.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
No, she might be there knocking with a play date. Go, 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 go.
We'll understand.
Yeah, you know.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Well, if he comes back, I'll have to ask him. Oh, here we go.
Okay. All right.
That was quick. Was she locked out?
No, anyways. So,
okay.
where were we? Right in the middle of a stream. I don't think I've ever seen that in any of the streams I've watched for the last year of comics.
So
It's awesome to be the first guy.
What, the Jehovah Witnesses just knock at your door?
Yeah. I mean, no, but I'm going to roll with that because that's funnier.
they're like, excuse me, we heard the word demon. We would like to talk to you.
It was a family member. It was a family member going, I was nearby and I have to pee really bad.
Have you heard about
and I'm sitting there going, I'm streaming here and you got to use the.
We're just going to hear like a loud, the loud peeing going on. In the background.
Well, I'm not in the bathroom, guys. So I might do a stream from a bathroom sometime, though. That might be funny. I don't know.
Like in Naked Gun, you forget to mute yourself and you go take a leak.
Well, look at what Ray Park did. Did you see what Ray Park did like 6 months ago? He got his pee dinker on screen.
What? Oh,
yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, he had somehow a picture of his dick ended up on his either Facebook or Twitter, and it just blew up all over the internet. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's got a little tiny little pecker," and that was the meme for like a month. How did you guys miss that?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You guys aren't Fandom Menace, are you?
I'm guessing he's a grower.
Wait. You're talking about the Darth Maul guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, because I remember seeing like the girlfriend saying it wasn't him and all this stuff or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it him?
Oh, Soul. I love you, dude.
Stop sending people goatee
Wet
pictures.
Waterworks. That almost made me gag, Soul. That's one of the things. You know, it's cool for people to have fetishes and their weird stuff, but some of those fetishes really gag me. That's one of them. It's the fucking Waterworks shit. You know, that stuff goes out of her body for a reason. You know, like a bunch of reasons. Woo, man, that stuff. I've had to see that because, of course, I'm a male, an alpha male champion, in fact, and I've had to, you know, I've spent time on the internet, so I've looked up porn, you know, and the stuff you see that you don't want to see is just the scariest. You know, there are people out there. We don't need to go into that. Anyways, we could sometime on like a rated R show. We should do maybe a stream that's like, what's the grossest shit you've seen? We'll do like a top 10 grossest shit we've seen on the internet, maybe.
So
I don't know. I've seen 2 girls in a cup. I'm joking. I've never watched it.
That's number one.
Dude, I remember when that shit was going on. One of my cousin like sends it to me, go, dude, check this out. And as soon as I read the thing, you press play, like it takes 1 second to know where the fuck this is going, and I'm like, nope.
I did see something worse. Dark side. I did see something worse on the internet. There was about 10, 12, 15 years ago, something like that, footage that was allegedly terrorists sawing a captured Marines. You know, did you see that? Yeah. That was probably the most horrific thing I've ever imagined. I could ever imagine. And it was probably a real beheading because human beings make awful noises like that. Like, you know, they don't really portray that in Hollywood. Like if somebody's sawing through your esophagus, you're not going to be going, oh, you know what I mean? You're not going to be like, it's going to be a fucked up gurgling and all these different weird sounds, man. And
there's a reason why they were there. There used to be jokes about squealing pigs, and let's leave it like that.
Yeah, it's just weird. And you see this shit on the internet, like, you know, growing up, you're around my age, Sim. We didn't see we didn't see that stuff. We saw there was the Faces of Death VHS that went around, you know, but I mean, now you can be like 8 years old, get on your fucking phone and watch a guy get his head sawed off as he squeals like a pig. It's just fucking. This world needs help. To put it lightly.
Yeah, but dude, you can find all that, but boobs is weird.
Oh, what's even worse is actual language. Like these online dictionaries change shit around. Like, if you look at if you go to, for example, what's that, Merriam-Webster, and look up the definition for hypothesis, then it's both the definition for hypothesis and theory. You understand? Like they're using both the slang, like layman bullshit term, and then they're using the actual scientific term, both in there. And that never existed until the internet. Definitions were accurate before the internet. Now they change language to suit political, agendas and psyops.
But like Vic
And-
said, ISIS puts many beheading vids on the web. Yep, they do, and I think it's weird how it stays there.
Yeah, and that's why I say alleged
Same thing.
terrorists. I think a lot of it's bullshit. I think it's psyops. I think it's set up. A lot
And
of
same
it,
thing,
but-
same thing with CP, and let's leave it like that. It's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Well, I'll just say I don't trust anything that I see on the internet or TV or anything like that. Really, I don't. The only thing I trust right now is that there are real globalists that are trying to bring around a new world order. They've been at it for a long time. A lot of us have been watching it take shape, but now they've come out and they've shown their faces. They've admitted it. World leaders have announced to their citizens, this is US, Canada, France, you name it, have announced that they're on board with Agenda 2030. It's a new era right now. And what's driving me nuts is I've got long-term business plans around comic books and entertainment in general. I don't even know if there's going to be a fucking world in 6 months because of these dickheads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of that you want to talk about on the stream.
Welcome to the new imperialist world. Oh, that welcoming a newborn demon into that world.
Yes.
Segue.
Segue.
Somebody told me that somebody told me that my scientifically genetically engineered demon is actually supernatural because demons are only supernatural. That's what I was told a few weeks ago.
Did you tell him you could do whatever you want? It's your world.
Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's something supernatural or it's not, and I don't like supernatural in comic books and superheroes at all. If there's something supernatural, I don't really like it mixed with superheroes. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool with like horror that has ghosts or demons or vampires and stuff. That's got to it kind of fits, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I just never liked it. Like growing up, I always thought Doctor Strange was weird, casting magic around Spider-Man and Iron Man. Thor was actually very weird to me too, because he was literally just right out of mythology, without any modern changes or anything. He even spoke weird, and
right.
That kind of stuff was always weird to me. And the thing about our universe we're building, Kemosabe and I and several other creators, there's Daniel Fogarty, Ben Phelps, Paul Roper, and basically and some others we'll be naming soon. But we've been setting up the entire universe so that the central theme is mythology explained using extraterrestrials and technology. It's kind of like Stargate, but with superheroes. And so to me, it's lazy world building if you just say, oh, it's magic, or, oh, a god gave them power, or, oh, they got it from the afterlife. Those things are very lazy to me. Like I like to sit down, break apart every power, explain it, how they have that power, at least to a certain degree that, it makes some sense to adults. And then I like to work with the artists so that you can see those powers, most of them at least, visibly on the character design itself. Like my Superman character, his name is Celestian. He looks absolutely nothing like Superman. He's not a caped crusader archetype. He's actually an armored guy. I'll be revealing his design here pretty soon. but he actually has wings. You know, he's got these metallic mechanical wings that he uses both as a shield and a weapon, and also to steer himself. And he's got jets built all, you know, that are small little jets that are all over the armor for his flight. So you see how he's flying. It makes sense. If I see Superman, and this was even when I was a kid, I would see Superman flying through the air in his cape and in tights, and I'm like, how? What? But I loved him. You know, I still loved Superman. I accepted it, but it was just always weird to me. You know.
Yeah.
So as an adult developer, I've taken that and just said, you know, I'm going to do things differently. You know, I'm going to a more modern take, I guess, on the superheroes.
Yeah,
So that's
you like to keep it more realistic. You know, things that have like everything has like an explanation kind of thing.
yeah. And Clive Barker is one of my big influences in world building, and even with him, even when he used magic, he still would describe, you know, he would describe it like in a way that it made you, it filled you with wonder. Like if you guys have ever read Weave World or The Great and Secret Show, dude, as you're reading these books, you want to know how this magic works, and it unfolds as you're reading, and it makes magic awesome. Mm-hmm. It's not just a throwaway, oh, it's magic, that's how he does it.
Yeah.
Somebody else who does that, writing, one of my favorite. These are two a writing team that make up one of my favorite writers. Basically, one awesome, amazing writer is Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Their Deathgate Cycle series is probably the most innovative, new, fresh look on fantasy. Even though it's been out for about probably 20 years, but it's very modern fantasy, and their magic is explained scientifically in the back of the book in the form of a thesis written by, you know, this wizard character. And, you know, that's not lazy world building. That's using supernatural and magic and such, but in a way that it still works. That's what turns me on. I'm not making fun of anybody out there, any of the, you know, other Comicsgate creators who have supernatural themes. I'm not making fun of you guys. Make the book you want to make. But to me, that stuff is boring. And I like to see really cool armored suits. I like cool masks like Spawn and Spidey and Grendel. I like you know, monsters. I fucking love monsters, as you can see from the Destroyer Demon there. That's what really gets my heart beating, you know, is these types of things. And that's what Brain Cage is about. The other creators are totally on board with that vision. And what's really awesome about Kemosabe is the rest of us creators hadn't developed how, like, the government handles superpowers and things like that, different governments. And Kemosabe actually brings that into the universe with his Company Men IP, because that's what that's all about, you know, is how the government deals with superpowers. And so all of us creators together have been piecing together this universe that's really coming together coherently. And honestly, all the characters really feel like they belong in the same universe. So that's exciting. I'm really happy about it.
Yeah. So I knew, of course, going into the stream that you and Kemosabe was kind of working together on one universe. I didn't know you was having even more creators coming in. This is going to be a pretty big, expansive universe then.
Yeah, we're sort of modeling some of the things we're doing after the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like Kemosabe is actually an exception. He's the one creator out of all the creators so far we have who's doing a team. But the rest of us are starting with one character and getting really deep into that character. And then each of those characters will start meeting the other characters in the universe, and then they'll be in teams and crossovers. And we're all in the same continuity. And by the way, you're going to see a couple of the Company Men characters in the first Gun Demon book. So just to show you how much we are, like, these characters are active in the same world, you know, it's starting right off the bat with, you know, the characters making appearances in the other books. We're doing, this is the first phase, starting with Company Men. And then I'm going to launch a couple weeks after the Company Men. So we're the first, the two phase 1 launches. The phase 2 launch so far that's definitely going to be phase 2 is World War Hell by Daniel Fogarty. And guys, this thing is going to really, people are going to love this. I know it, because got so much in it. It's set in World War II, and right in the middle of this big battle between the Axis and Allied forces, the gates to hell open and demons start spilling out, wiping everybody out. So now the Axis and Allied forces have to team up together
Yeah.
to save Earth. And the beauty of it is, in the middle of this, a hero is born named Blitzkrieg. And Blitzkrieg is going to be one of our flagship characters in Brain Cage. He's sort of our Wolverine and Venom. He's somewhere around Wolverine or Venom type of character. Personalities modeled around the outlaw Josie Wales. Daniel and I are both really big fan of that character, and the way Josie Wales doesn't really speak much, but when he does, you better fucking listen, boy, because you're going to die if you don't. It's that kind of deal. Blitzkrieg, I'm really impressed with. It's going to be really fun to tie in Gunny with him, because Gunny's a goofball at first. He's kind of, the way he starts off, he's almost like our Deadpool in a way, because he's just goofy, doesn't understand things. He matures throughout the series. In his adolescent stage, he's a little rebellious, kind of like a teen punk in a way, you know. But then when he his coming of age, he's going to be very serious and dark. It's going to be more almost a Sin City sort of atmosphere, is somewhere around that neighborhood.
Mr. Soul's asking you, what happens when you shave that goatee? Does that translate to the character or vice versa?
We're going to find out pretty soon. I haven't shaved it since I created Gunny, so no, that's not true. I did shave it. I don't know. I do it a few times a year. It comes and goes. I get bored.
Hex Allen's with us. He says, hello. Gross. What the hell is that?
Hey, what the fuck? You never saw an alpha male champion before, Beta? Sit down. Get out of here.
Oh, my.
That's going to be the name of my stream show, by the way, that I'm starting in the next few days. It's going to be the Alpha Male Champion Show.
Staring sim.
Well, a beta wouldn't get it, so I mean, you know. But the alphas out there will get it, you know. The alpha male champions, you know, and they'll tune in.
They'll watch.
And the betas that want to be alphas, you know, I mean, they got to be taught. You know, we got a lot of single mommies raising boys these days, so we got to whip these little punks into shape, you know, because they're turning into SJWs.
And let's not forget the Omega too, you know.
The Omega.
Mm-hmm.
You lost me. The end
Alpha,
of the
Alpha, Beta, and Omega.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't get the reference. I'm sitting here going, "That's the end of the alphabet."
Let's not forget the Omega.
Well, how's that apply? I'm slow sometimes.
The trifecta, yeah.
I've been described. I've been described as a stupid as fuck smart guy. So bear with me. I don't know about the smart guy part.
Soul's asking you, Greg, have you read the Damnation game? Really like
Of course. Of course. I've read pretty much all of Clive's books, except I believe it or not, I missed out on Magica. About 5 times I was going to read it, and then I ended up jumping into the next Star Wars EU novel at the time. So, because I've devoured every single Star Wars EU book, some of them like a dozen times. It's just, that's my passion. Star Wars got me into all this. I'm here because of Star Wars, because of George Lucas, literally. That was my first guy that started me down this path. And then Tolkien at age 9, I read The Hobbit, and then Clive. Well, I would have to say then it was Stephen King for about a year. But Stephen King's a very adolescent rage kind of style of writing. It's, you know, I grew out of that pretty quick. Once I read the sophisticated Clive Barker style, there was no going back to Stephen King shit, you know, or Peter Straub or any of those horror writers.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of Stephen King. My grandmother loved his work, though. She I think she read all of his books so far. She had a ton of them, but I never really got into him.
He's got some good ones.
He's going to finish Kingdom. Oh, yes, Darkside, please do. I love Kingdom. That's a great show on Netflix. Let's see here. Soul saying Greg needs to play Blitzkrieg Bop on his guitar and upload it.
By the way, if you're referring to my old ass videos with a borrowed acoustic guitar with rusty strings shot on a smartphone, I've got some better music coming out very soon. I promise. I've got. I'm not going to name the band just yet because we've got a couple names we're deciding, but it's progressive acoustic rock. Basically, there's not much prog rock out there right now, and not much acoustic guitar based music out there. So the drummer I've been writing with for like 38 years or so, he's just been channeling that style lately. So it's been amazing. He's actually composing our music for the first time. I was always the composer before, but so I'm going to actually have a music release very soon too. So that's going to be exciting. A comic book and a fucking band release finally.
And let's see here. What else we got here? Dave, Mr. Feed is asking, is there hope for a regular human being? Can I go to that stream to get some alpha points by proxy?
Just by showing up, you're going to be like basically a level 1 alpha at least if you're not already a champion. Yeah. See,
watch one stream, you'll get a little bit of hair on your chest.
Yeah, grow a little bit of nuts, you know. Mm-hmm. But see, I'm going to teach you guys how to avoid the honey trap because we got too much simping going out there. See, we got to avoid that honey trap. See, that's the danger to the young men these days. The funny thing is I'm not even joking. Like basically the biggest threat in the U.S. to a human being is being a male who gets a woman pregnant. You know, these days it's pretty scary. But you know. No, I'm not saying the guys are all innocent. They're deadbeats, real deadbeats out there. But a lot of us guys get a bad rep, you know, that because of the family court system. It's just very corrupt. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff, though, I wanted to stay away from in these books. See, another thing I want to talk about in Brain Cage that we all agreed on, all of the creators, no current day politics, nothing that's going to rip people out of the story and immersion and into the real world and into their problems. You know, there are some things I was going to go into, like one of Gunny's friends was going to be like his closest friend was going to be a junkie and she was going to be dealing with that kind of stuff. And I ended up getting rid of that storyline because it's just, man, I want this to be fun, action driven superhero, just, you know, just a good time.
You don't want it to hit too close to home for your audience.
Yeah, man. And I think Gunny will hit somewhat close to home because basically he represents anybody who's ever felt like they don't belong, anybody who's an outcast. And I think that's pretty much all of Comicsgate right now. Like, I think we pretty much only belong here in Comicsgate because we're too offensive outside of Comicsgate for those people, whatever they are, people, clones, robots, I don't know what the fuck they are, vampires, but you know, Comicsgate, we can just be ourselves. Honestly, that's why I want to call it the Alpha Male Champion Show. You know, I don't truly believe I'm an apex form of mankind and masculinity. It's more of a joke, if anything, but it is something I do want to promote is actual masculinity because we need that. You know, in this society, in this culture, it's being programmed out, and we see what's going on. I mean, it's not working. It's absolutely not working. You know, kids need both parents in their lives.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, they do need a mother and a father to balance them out.
And by the way, Sim, I actually I'm very proud of you. I live kind of vicariously through you because of how you have your kids with you. You got your boys. You know, and that's like a victory for those of us guys who didn't get to raise our kids. They got kidnapped from us.
Well, it's one of the reasons that when my bro asked me, my bro once came, he goes, Sim, I want to be you, because he was split up and he didn't have his girls. And
I love it.
And we stuck together, and I'm like, okay. So I helped him out, and we got full custody of his girls.
I love it, bro. I'm proud of you, man. That's a great victory. You achieved a real one. You know,
it's a rare thing to win full custody in court. Yeah, it is.
Man, what a nightmare. But anyways, back to that escapism.
The best advice I can give anybody: what made me win, what they made me that they couldn't do shit, is I was a feeder.
Mm.
It's stupid. That's how they say it. You're one of the ones that fed the kid. So, like stay at home, like take half of the year off type of thing. Take care of that kid. You have to be a vital part of that kid. Sleep, feed
Yeah, it
it.
doesn't work here in the States.
No.
That's one of them times when I'll agree with you that Canada's better, I guess, in this case.
The thing is, when you have a kid, you have like a year you can take off, so you can take care of that kid. You can give it to your wife as well.
Yeah,
The
see,
thing
here in
is,
the States, both the couple, both members of the couple have to work. In fact, as soon as the wife drops the kid out, like they've got people there to catch him so she can get back onto the shift, back on the line. So that's
it's
how
the
we do
same
it here in the
here.
States.
It's the same here, except that we have the 1 year insurance with she can stay home while she's the first year of the infancy, or you can stay home too here.
Soul has a point right there. He said Sim is solid, but forcing his kids to read Blood Hunt over and over is kind of wrong. Oh, hey, it's Ted. What up, Ted?
Is it? Doesn't too wrong make it? Doesn't too wrong make it right?
We can try it. We keep trying to make it.
Well, So said he watched your take. He said he watched your take on Hurt and kind of liked it, Greg.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Well, then you'll probably like what I'm doing now a lot better because I sing a lot better. It's going to be professional engineered and everything, so it's not going to be just a guy with a smartphone and a crappy guitar. So, yeah, I honestly, I'm just as stoked for that, but I haven't been able to, haven't had time lately to do vocal tracks like I need to be doing because I've been working on Gun Demon. It's like, and Brain Cage. Honestly, I'm not just making a book. Kimo Sabi and I are both creating a company here, so it's and we're co-developing the other IPs with these other guys. This is what we're working on. This is why we wanted to do the Brain Cage thing. We're big fans of the Image explosion in the early 90s. Okay, I've been a comic fan since I was a kid, and that Image Comics explosion in the early 90s was the coolest thing that ever happened to comics, ever. And it wasn't just because those guys were legends, right? McFarlane and all them, the hottest artists at the time. It was because some indie guys got together in a team, created a shared universe independently, and had fresh new designs, and it looked very modern, compared to all the other comics out there. It was a new look, and it was a new direction for comics. We want that same thing. Sorry about that. It's my coffee coming up. We want that same thing, and we do have one guy. We're not going to name drop just yet. We got one guy. You guys are going to recognize his name when we release. When we're able to reveal who this creator is. But we're really excited to have him on board. He's a proven creator and top tier talent. But what's drawing this talent in is Kibasabi and I. We agreed that we want top tier in Brain Cage only. The collars have to pop off the page. The art's got to be detailed. It's got to have that really stylistic, action-packed look to it. The story's got to be pretty well developed. Because we want to build something big here that can be movies, video games, and other products later. Action figures. We have plans for a tabletop battle game after running our campaigns. We're probably going to launch that for our Battlegate system. What we are launching in the campaign, we're going kind of nuts, guys. We've got a Battlegate collectible trading card game, we call it, and it's I'm going to have the hero starter deck in the Gun Demon campaign, and Kimasabi is going to have the villain deck in his campaign. And it's a combination of Gun Demon Company men and some of the other creators' characters, like Blitzkrieg will be in there, and Flicker, who's our speedster seductress character, who's the creator is Ben Phelps. His character is going to be in there. So you guys are actually going to get to see previews of these heroes that aren't releasing just yet. It's going to be a few months, for example, probably about 4 months or so when Blitzkrieg and World War Hell launches. So,
yeah, you want me to show off the cards there?
Please do. Yes, that would be great. Now, this is just the prototype that Kimasabi did mock-ups on, and this is going to James Dean Anderson for him to put his beautiful touches on it. It's going to look about 50 times better once he gets done with it. Expect the fonts to be different. Some of this art all the art is filler art for the moment, just as example. Most of it is from our own books, but you can see the character Faust right there. I think he just grabbed that off the internet just for, sample wise.
Mm-hmm.
But we've designed these cards so that the stats and the stat boxes are small and up in the corners. That way art is the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
So that those who aren't really crazy about playing the game itself, but they want to collect it for the art, it's not going to get in the way of the art so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, something else we're going to do with this deck, I'm sorry to interrupt there. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Dave was just asking, is it a playable card game? And that would be yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It is. I would describe the complexity and the mechanics of it between Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering. It's definitely, this is the basic version we're launching first. The advanced will come later. But in the basic version, it is a little more advanced, more complex than Hearthstone, which is pretty much the most simplistic collectible trading card game out there. And then Magic the Gathering is the most complex. And for a lot of people, it's ridiculously complex. So our basic version is a nice happy medium in between.
Mm-hmm.
And the advanced version we add later on will be for the more advanced people who like to play Magic the Gathering and more complex stuff.
Okay. David says, "Wow, nice." Gosh dang it, there's two Daves here. Mr. Feed says, "Wow, nice." Bristolian Dave says, "Damn, a playable card game. Another one of my weaknesses."
We're not fucking around, boys. We are not fucking around here. I've spent almost a year planning all this. The system itself for this game, for Battlegate, is based on a formula I developed decades ago. I've been developing tabletop, what people call homebrew systems,
Mm-hmm.
similar to Dungeons and Dragons, Mutants and Masterminds and all that, Warhammer, tabletop. I've been developing that kind of stuff for decades. I've got a fantasy world. I've got about 36 years of development in, something like that, and science fiction worlds. So we're going to be able to launch decks later, just for those worlds separately from the superhero decks, and you'll be able to mix and match them in the same deck. Another thing we're doing with Battlegate is it's a modular system, so everything's going to build on top of these starter decks. So if you've got the starter, later you're going to be able to pick up expansion decks of other IPs. Like, for example, Dave Brink, we're going to do a deck for him next, for his Perfect 10 and Auxilium IPs, his universe basically, and that will be an expansion deck, and that will be fine-tuned for his. He's not in Brain Cage, but we're going to work with Comicsgate creators outside of Brain Cage as well, because I would like to see a lot of creators, any creators who have campaigns that could support such a perk, a support base enough and enough characters, to fill a deck. I would like to see them get their own collectible trading card games in Comicsgate. That'll give us, our community, a big advantage over the indie people outside of Comicsgate right there alone. Just that one thing, I believe.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I plan on doing is, and I've already started doing it, is promoting in the collectible trading card game communities. And I've done R&D on, the backers of the indie CTC games that are out there. And they pretty much jump on any CTC game that at least, like even bad ones, like you can see that the system is really bland and that the art's bad. Names of characters are generic, but they still back these just to get a new deck, a new type of game. So
just for something different.
Yeah. So what we're doing is on par, absolutely 100% on par with what Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone and, the major card games are doing, and the Marvel decks that they have out and the DC games. We're on par with that quality wise. So I'm confident we're going to bring quite a few from that CTC community, backer community, over to Comicsgate to back these campaigns that have the Battlegate decks. That's my intention for Battlegate. Bring more people to Comicsgate, because this is something that's been bothering me. I don't expect everybody to have the same skill sets, mind you. Keep that in mind as I say this, right? But one thing that's bothering me that I've seen in the last year that I've really been intensely interacting in Comicsgate and watching very few of the creators outside of Ethan and his crew are really bringing in fresh people to Comicsgate, fresh backers.
Yeah, trying to expand outside the circle, so to speak.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We need more backers coming in, more eyes on our campaigns. And what I see is more creators coming in to get a piece of that Comicsgate money, but they're not bringing in any backers, you know what I mean, to help expand the pool. So now we're seeing a lot of these campaigns are getting smaller and smaller. Instead of being what a year ago would have been a $50,000 campaign is now a $10,000 campaign a lot of times, you know, and stuff like that. So we need to get after the other creators. We need to be cracking whips. I'm not saying I'm going to bring in 10,000 people to Comicsgate. I'm not making a ridiculous boast or anything. I'm just saying we have to try.
Yeah. People need to pull their weight, as it were. Yes.
No, we need to be able to reach out. That's what people need to do. Like me, the thing I want to do with the red labeled digital comic there is to be able to have a preview for Indiegogo. Cynically putting a whole bunch of us in there, putting a little preview of like 5 to 10 pages, put it on every digital media. That platform there is there for like 99 cents. And then everything at the end says find us on Indiegogo. And that's what I'm working on for in February.
And you guys out there that are watching and listening, this is one of the many reasons why I absolutely respect and love the shit out of Sim, because Sim knows what the fuck is going on. So if you're talking to him and he's giving you some advice, heed his advice. You know, I learned the hard way a few times. He's one of the first creators I met coming into Comicsgate. He gave me a lot of advice. And there was a few things, you know, that I was like, I think he's wrong there. And then I went and experimented and I found dude was spot on. You know, Sim's got his finger on the pulse, guys. So, you know, pay attention to what he says.
Well, thank you.
I never pay attention to what Sim says.
Well, outside of comics, don't listen to a thing he says. He's a wanker, but you know, fuck's sake, everybody knows that. Though we didn't even need to say it. Jesus, fucking beta.
Let's see. Soul says pen and paper / tabletop seems to be a starting point for several CG projects. That's how Sunswarm came to be as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Vic King says, Greg, drop some info on the game stuff in my DMs. Very interesting.
Will do. I'm going to have more info soon, though. We're getting everything together so that we have a package that we can send to creators. It'll be a creator partnership program we're developing. The main thing is any creators that Kemosabe and I develop a deck for, we want to make it accessible to them. We want to make it affordable. There's going to be a small upfront fee because it takes time for us to do this. It takes time away from our books and from what we're doing. And so there's an upfront fee similar to hiring, you know, commissioning an artist or a letterer or something like that. And then we'll work out, you know, we'll negotiate depending on, you know, what kind of budget people have. I want this to be accessible to us. This is meant to be something that expands Comicsgate. That's why we're doing it. Oh, and you were saying something, Sim, you were talking about that preview, 10-page preview thing that you guys are going to be doing, which is awesome. That reminded me of something else I wanted to plug that's going to be in the campaign for Gun Demon. World War Hell that I mentioned earlier. In a stretch goal, there's going to be a 10-page issue 0 of World War Hell, which is going to introduce Blitzkrieg and his squad of badass soldiers who are called the Hellions. And you're going to get to see them in action and see what World War Hell's about, a little taste of that. And so Daniel is getting the pages done right now for the samples. So that'll actually be on the campaign page. You'll be able to see the first 2 pages of World War Hell issue number 0. And so it's exciting. We're doing stuff together. We're combining our characters and our IPs in ways I don't see anybody else doing in indie comics. And I think this is what us comic fans out there really want to see. I think it's a no-brainer. It's what we want. You know, that's literally what we're doing is what we think comics need. And
yeah,
hopefully,
sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. I
No,
talk a lot, so you'll have to cut in.
it's important that we stretch out and we reach out and we try to think outside the box and think about the other mediums. It's like before people would think about getting a movie, the end deal of it was to get a toy deal, a cartoon deal, a movie deal, or something like that, right? Well, you need to be able to reach out to the moviegoers. You need to reach out to the video game players, the board games, the card games, and this. So we have to find a way to attract them to us.
That's
So
exactly it.
that's the reason behind the digital thing, because I know there's people that prefer digital, that likes digital, and there's people that don't know about Indiegogo at all. So we need to be able to go, hey, here's a poof, oh, in their face, and they go, this is where you find us.
Yeah.
And it's the same for cards, movies. That's why when I go on Facebook, like since I've been in the movies and the video games, I'm in some of those groups, and I share books in there too, trying to get their attention. Like I'm part of the Ubisoft group, so sometimes I drop in my book. Hey, check this out.
Honestly, any IP you develop in 2021 should be developed across different mediums. It should be developed to go that way, because if it becomes successful, then it will inevitably go that way at some point. So if you don't already plan for adaptations when you're developing the core story, the core products, then you're not going to be prepared for it later. You're going to get poor screen adaptations. I'm actually primarily a video director. I've been trying to launch movies for years, traveling around the country, networking, and this is the first time I felt like I could really launch an IP. And I definitely am not one of those people who just wants to make a comic book just so I can go out and get a Netflix, series from it. I want comic books continuously. In fact, one of our plans with Brain Cage is if we get to a certain level to where we're capable of doing this, we're going to start producing 22-page monthly books. The reason we're bringing so many creators in is so that we're capable of shipping at least 10 titles a month to comic shops. And it is my intention to actually use this to bring comic shop owners into Comicsgate and support actual crowdfunding campaigns, which they're not doing. It's their enemy right now. So I want to make allies of the comic shops. Comic shops are nerd churches. Without those places, without those centers of nerd culture, these younger guys aren't going to go and learn social skills, interactions, and such. They're just going to sit at home and troll people in video games and voice chat. And this gives them interaction, human interaction. And we need comic book shops. That's where dreams are created. And I want to work with comic shop owners and give them product that's quality that people actually want, that they can actually sell.
Yeah, I mean, I do like your ideas. I like the idea of the cards. It sounds a lot like kind of how like Magic does their Planeswalker decks, where it's like a deck themed around a character. That all sounds like a lot. It sounds pretty cool. And you're right. I think that would kind of help pull in some outside of the normal crowdfunded comic crowd. Pull some folks in.
Also makes the trading card more interesting for people that don't like trading cards.
Yeah. Personally, myself, if there isn't stats on it and a game involved, I don't care much about trading cards. I know a lot of people do, but I'd rather have a print or a poster. If I'm going to collect art, I want it to be larger so I can see it in better detail rather than have a tiny little thing like that. So that's why I'm big about, like, I didn't want to just have normal trading cards in my campaign, whether we were going to do it for other creators or team up or not. When I was, developing Battlegate, I was doing it for my campaign originally because I don't want a normal trading card. I want to see people doing the stuff that we really want out there. I don't care about stickers. I don't care about buttons and pins and little things like that. I want
screw you. The 6 a.m. stickers are awesome.
Well, I don't know what 6 a.m. stickers are, but I will say this. I do kind of like decals because as a guitarist, if there's something I really like, I would love to put a decal of it on my guitar, to rep. But, maybe even on a bumper sticker, like those are kind of cool. Like I used to have Batman symbol, the bat symbol.
That's why I
But
like the stickers that the Diaz did, like the ones I have for Nat. They're made out of vinyl, so you can put them on the car. You can put them on your guitar. They're made out. Yeah.
now that's pretty cool. But me personally, I can do without stickers. I can do without pins, lunch boxes. These are the types of merch I don't really care about. I've been paying attention to what backers have been saying for the last year. I've been sitting in, obviously, a lot of you guys know me. We hang out every day in the chats of these streams. But I've been listening to you guys and in great detail, and I've been asking you guys questions. And my whole campaign is basically the stuff that everybody's been saying they want. They want apparel, like hoodies, hats, shirts. So I've got plans for that. They want collectible trading card games. I've heard this for a while. It actually confirmed to me that I had the right idea of doing a collectible trading card game in my campaign. I was going to do it anyway. And then I started seeing all these backers asking Ethan in his stream, hey, when are you going to do a trading card game? And Ethan's kind of, oh, I think we got guys working on that. We'll see. But, haven't heard anything since. That's been like 8 or 9 months, I think, since I saw him talking about that. But people have still been saying they want this in Comicsgate. And I wouldn't doubt if Ethan does have something really cool in the works there. He's got everything in the works, so that's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I think us newbie creators and us non-established, lower end creators really need to pull some big game. If we're gonna play with the big boys, we got to come in like big boys.
But that's why with Blood Hunt I've been sending copies to some editors that I have access to. Not editors but producers, trying to get them attention for a movie. Not the Merc. I'm gonna do the same thing with. I'd like to get an animation deal. It's not my main goal, because my goal, it's to do comics.
Yeah.
But Greg, I'd like to have one of those type of board games like I talked to you with little models of Nat. There's a little something I'm working on.
Well, my friend, Battlegate's got that coming in the very near future. We're going to, after Gun Demon and Accompany Men, we're going to start, we're going to launch our campaign, we're going to launch our campaign for the Battlegate tabletop battle game. And one thing we're doing with Battlegate is that Magic fucked up. Okay, Magic fucked up really bad, and they've been losing customers the way Marvel and DC is losing customers, and the way that Hollywood is losing customers. Because what Magic has done, they've been doing it for years, is they release a new deck that has brand new game mechanics, and you have to get the new deck, or you don't have counters for the new abilities, and so your old stuff is not collectible anymore because it's obsolete.
And then they break the other decks too. Sometimes, like the old ones, you can't even play with them anymore.
Yep. And that kills the collectability. So in Battlegate, we want to, in everything that Brain Cage does, we want to ensure collectability. So we are going to this core system. Everything's going to be built around it modularly. So the tabletop battle game, it's going to be based likely in my world of Aonar when we release it, which is a fantasy world. It's going to have the miniatures for each of the characters, and each character will have a card as well. And that'll be a new deck, hero and villain decks for Aonar, my fantasy world. However, you'll be able to take those and you'll be able to, we're going to make miniatures available for our hero and villain decks from our superhero universe, so that those who have those decks already will be able to get the miniatures and play those in the tabletop battle game instead of the fantasy characters if they want, and that using, so it's all going to be modular. We're going to reverse engineer things. We come out with a new type of game, we're going to add the new resources to the old decks that people have, so that they're not obsolete, and we're not going to replace, there's not going to be any new mechanics that break the game, because what we're doing is we've got character cards, and then we have action cards. The action cards essentially allow us to create any kind of rules. So when you pull that action card, it's going to buff one of your characters or a whole group of characters, depending on the buff. And that's where the new mechanics will be in each deck. But they're all going to follow the same formula. So they're not, you're not going to get a new mechanic that, older decks cannot counter and things like that. So we've been learning
helps.
from the
Yeah, it
mistakes.
helps with the balance and things like that.
Yes, sir.
So saying World War Hell sounds a bit like Uber by Kieran Gillen.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's when it's
Heard of that one.
yeah, it's free. It's great. It's with it was Kanan White, the artist. It was one of his
Well-
first books.
Well, I don't know if they've got this though. We have Franken-tanks in World War Hell. Excuse me. The tanks get all messed up, during the big battles against these demons. The destroyers come in, so it forces the soldiers to actually build Franken-tanks from the parts of the Russian, German, American, and all the different vehicles and the different guns. So we're going to have it's kind of a Mad Max almost edge to it. So you got World War II, demons, and Franken-tanks and superheroes. It's going to be nuts.
Dude said that's right. We're also making a game, yo. Yep. Mr. Feed has also got stats and such on his cards as well.
Nice.
He's got like a little game he's got going on.
Cool. It's you gotta do this stuff because the only
Soul's asking the brain cage? Question mark.
Brain Cage is the name of our label that Kemosabe and I have formed, and we call our shared universe the Brain Cage universe. And the idea is simply just the symbolism of Brain Cage is just simply think outside your physical form, think outside, be more than yourself. Because that's what Brain Cage is. We're not just creators, we're a team of creators, and we're all supporting each other as much as we possibly can, even with money. Like right now, Daniel Fogarty is getting designs done early before he even needs them, so that it'll give Kemosabe and I more art to reveal to help build excitement for Company Men and Gun Demon. That's how much we're working together and helping each other out. Just the idea of having a 10-page issue number 0, of one of our other titles in my campaign, I'm really happy about that. I think that's really fucking cool. And the neat thing is Gun Demon and World War Hell are two of the titles that two of the main titles that cover hell in our universe, that part of mythology, heaven and hell and all that. So, like what I say on that log line I have on my pre-launch page where it says, hell on earth has never been this fun. Well, we're bringing lots of hell on earth with this campaign.
Important thing here, Soul says. He says, at Greg, if you have a cage website for your brain project, let me know so I can drop the link in the chat.
Will do. We'll be getting a website going pretty soon. Kemosabe and I have been working mostly on our books, and we've had to recruit creative teams. I've been we've both been very picky, so it's taken us a long time to put our teams together, but we've got the perfect teams now. So we're in full force, and that's why you're now hearing about Brain Cage and all this stuff, is because now we've got stuff to show, and we've got our full team.
Now, Mr. Greg, do you have an idea for prices for like your comic or some of the stuff it's going to be, on the campaign?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go. I don't have the exact pricing yet on the deck and on the apparel, so I have to get. I'm gonna have that by the time the campaign launches, when it goes live. I'm still shopping. I'm trying to get the best deals and all that kind of stuff. So I want the backers to get the best value they can. But basically, it is going to be a $25 graphic novel.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a Rob Willis variant as well as a Stefani Renee variant. My main Said No Con cover is going to be 25. The Stefani Renee cover will be 25, and the Rob Willis will be 30. But we'll offer a perk that gives you all three for 75. So it's $5 cheaper than getting them individually.
Okay.
We also have some unique perks in this campaign. I'm going to have the Said No Con cover print. The original print itself will be in the campaign as a unique perk. The Stefani Renee print, and probably the Rob Willis print. I'll see if I can get up the money I need to get the original print, because it costs, it's more expensive to get that from the artist. But so basically, we've got that, plus we've got maquettes by world-class sculptor Martin Soto. And wait till you see these.
Maquettes?
Maquettes are 7 to 11 inch statues. The term comes from creature design from film. Anytime you do creature concepts, they always do maquettes about that high to get an idea of form and all that.
It's a French word called maquette. Yeah.
Maquette. Sorry about that.
Why does everything go back to French on these streams?
The French invent everything.
Because there's a lot of freaking French word in your American English, like there's a lot of English word in our like Americanized French.
They're going, the French gotta stick their noses
It's
in
called
everything.
Frenchism.
Hey, like the frogs or not, but France was the cradle of civilization for hundreds of years. They were the most advanced for hundreds of years, so they invented stuff. Master race,
Ace is here. Hail, Ace.
Hey, what's up, buddy? There's Hex too.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's see. Oops. Scrolled accidentally down here. Apparently, Ace or Hex is in Vinny's stream as well. He said he shared the link to Columns of Creation. Do go check that out too, everybody. Looks pretty good. We had we had him on as well on the streamer on an earlier stream. Let's see. Yep.
I like the fact So's calling him out on it. Hex on the comments. Where are you on?
Where else are you on? Yeah, he's watching the Vinny stream.
Hex like, nowhere.
Oh.
That happened to me once too. I was like trying to support multiple people on the stream. Like you're trying to mod one and being supportive to other people, and you're like, oops, wrong link.
Yeah, so these you say it maquettes? Is that right?
Yeah, maquettes. Yeah.
Yeah. You said they're 7 to 11 inches. Are they going to be like are those expensive, like high detailed statues?
Yes. In fact, they will be very expensive. They're going to be unique. They're each going to be numbered. I'm going to start with one. It's going to be the maquette of Abaddon, my villain, because I think he's the most visually impressive character in the book, in this first book. So I want to start with him. He's going to be a very large maquette. He's basically he's going to be based on this said no-con style, and then what I'm going to do is the other maquettes are going to be based on the Rob Willis variant cover style. Then there's going to be one of the Stefani Rene. So basically, I'm sure that somebody will want these because they're going to be amazing. Martin, you can look up Martin Soto on Facebook. Soto is his last name, and look at his work. Just look. Would you look at that? Just look at it.
Look at it.
Just look at it. Because he's amazing. He paints it too. It's he's done Hulk. He's done several other characters, and as well as original characters, and it just looks like Hulk is alive in front of you in great detail. So I would assume that a serious collector who would want the print, like a cover print, would also want to get someone who can afford it would also want to get the statue, of the main, the character on that print, so that in their collection room they can have that on a pedestal in front of the print on the wall. Definitely the Rob Willis buyers would want that because they buy any prints. He does auctions of his art. He's got a group of collectors that collect his stuff. So because he's Rob Willis.
Yeah. Soul says that, Greg, with a name like Abaddon, you'll make sure that all of the Warhammer guys will be on board.
I didn't realize that was also a Warhammer character. It's actually from Christian demonology.
Yeah.
Abaddon was a destroyer that had a cloud of locusts that followed him everywhere and destroyed all, ate up all organic life. My Abaddon does too. He's got drones, a cloud of drone locusts that devour all life. So he's basically like Juggernaut from Marvel. You know how Juggernaut's an unstoppable force that just runs right through walls like they're nothing.
Yeah.
And he's very, his skin, or in case of Juggernaut, it's not skin, it's obviously armor. But, in case of Abaddon, he's got strong invulnerability power, very dense muscles and bones. So it's very difficult to penetrate that skin. So he's very powerful. In the Brain Cage universe, a major theme that all of us creators also agreed on was that our heroes are underdogs and that our villains are very powerful. And
Is he like
it's just-
Juggernaut? The only vulnerable spot is an asshole. Remember in Deadpool 2?
Well, I mean, he was
tried to
saying
shock him in the
about
butt and that's
penetrating.
not gonna lie, I don't remember because I only watched it once and I didn't like the second one. I was not.
I was thinking a
not
joke
happy.
because it was stupid.
Well,
That's the
jokes
weakness
are
of the
supposed to be
Juggernaut.
funny, Sim. Come on. I better not say that because I make unfunny jokes too, and then you'll call me on it later. So fuck. It's too late. I've already done it.
Yep.
And Soul will definitely be on my ass over it too. Next time I say something unfunny, motherfucker's going to be on me. Mo Biggs. I got to watch these guys, man. They're on top of shit. Fucking Leroy. Leroy's especially, me and Leroy fuck with each other because he's a West Virginian and I'm an Ohioan. And Ohio and West Virginia just has this thing.
Mhm.
And I'm not like a patriotic Ohioan, like Ohio pride, Buckeyes. I do it more out of fun. But it's just fun to fuck with West Virginians like that. I don't know why we do it in Ohio. It's a retarded thing. We also do it to Michigan people. I saw Malin saying something in his stream. He's like, I don't even get why Ohioans come at us Michigan people. It's retarded. And, and I don't get it either. I don't think any of the Ohioans get it either. It's just, it's a stupid local culture thing. It started with the football and I ain't in it at their foosball.
By the
So
way, Soul just answered. Count on it.
oh yes, I know. I do count on it. This is Comicsgate. Hey man, I've been trolling everybody for the last year. Don't think I don't know that it's coming for me in a big way. In a big way, especially Leroy. I shit you not. I know Leroy's gonna have my ass on these fucking streams. He's been waiting for me to get on streams.
Is that your weakness as well?
What's that? My ass? I do have hemorrhoids, so yes. Also, I can't eat chili anymore. It's just people around me it's not good for them. So yeah, I would say my ass is one of my weaknesses, along with the rest of my body. We all can't be buff. We can't all be buff like you, Sim. Come on now, man. I'm only half French. You're full superiority there genetically. So
I'm not
Just
that
take-
type of French.
take it easy on me. I kind of wish Leroy was here right now. I've come to just expect him to be around anytime there's a stream going on, and he's somebody I could just count on making fun of all the time. You know what I mean? Because his music taste is ass. It's pure ass. It's total West Virginia. Like I can sit there and guess. Like I knew what bands he liked. Like when I mentioned Nickelback one day, I'm like, yeah, Leroy's the type of dude that listens to Nickelback. So I like some Nickelback. I'm like, see, I told you, motherfuckers. I know West Virginia.
Yeah. You keep up with this West Virginia hate, Greg. I'm gonna have to mute you.
That's where Chris is from, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I got another fucking West Virginian to fuck with. I love it.
Mountaineer Pride.
I'm right on the border of West Virginia. I'm in Marietta, right? Ohio. It's right on the border of, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
So,
The
nothing
rivalry is
special.
building.
Yeah. I
Oh,
know
man.
where that is.
Comicsgate's made up mostly of Ohioans, West Virginians, and Michiganders, and So yeah, I expect plenty of that going around.
Soul's telling you, Greg. He says I'm not on Twitter though, so I'll only come for you on streams like this for now.
That's okay. You might like if you like me at all, you'd probably like me better on streams anyway. People seem to not like me in social media a lot of times. Big thing is, don't talk Star Wars with me. You're probably not going to like it. I hate everything Disney Star Wars, even The Mandalorian. I hate everything. I hate The Mandalorian probably the worst because it's almost mediocre enough to almost look Star Wars to fool enough people to keep Kathleen Kennedy in a job. You know what I'm saying? And keep these assholes working. And I want Star Wars to either go bye-bye forever or be sold to people who are going to take it seriously. And as long as people are simping for Mandalorian, it's never going to happen. So, yeah, people don't like me on Twitter. I'm even Fandom Menace. I've been Fandom Menace for years, and now all of a sudden I'm against the Fandom Menace. They're all like ganging up on me and stuff. I'm actually going on a Fandom Menace stream later today. It's ETEP Wokuian's The Place to Be reviews. I'll be on that at 7 Eastern. And so Pete's an awesome dude, but I know him and I are going to be arguing about Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And we're definitely going to be arguing about some shows I've seen him talking about. Like he was talking about WandaVision. I'm going to troll him over WandaVision. Yeah, his review of that, he's going to get it. So I'd love to troll Ethan. I'd love to troll him because he's been shilling The Mandalorian hard now for about like 2 months. I want to tell him to stop being a Disney beta.
Stop being a Disney beta.
Yeah. I'm coming for you, big boy.
In my opinion, Disney is where franchises go to die.
It is. It is, unfortunately. It used to be great. Remember the wonder of Disney when we were growing up?
Yeah.
You know, even like they even had serious adult stuff like that movie, The Black Hole. That's still a great classic. And just, oh man. Sad.
Yep, David. Red Eyes is from Swissland. Yep. And
I feel you, Soul.
Soul says he's kind of over Star Wars since Rogue One. Yeah, I've been over Star Wars since it was bought by Disney.
Yeah, the fucking Force Awakens. I went there expecting at least Star Wars. I didn't have great expectations, but I expected at least Star Wars. First opening scene, I'm like, this isn't a bad start. And then it cuts to the Jar Jar Abrams use of lighting with those fucking stormtroopers and the lights, you know, like 35 years after the fucking fall of the Empire, and they still can't figure out lighting. What? And just things like that I started seeing immediately. Kylo Ren was pretty cool at first, you know. The voice was cool. The mask was a bad design. I wasn't on board with it to begin with, but I liked the overall look of him. You know, if they could have done a better mask design, it just looked like it was one of the quick ones, like a throwaway design or something. I don't know. But there was some things at first I'm like, oh, you know, this is kind of cool. And then it started pissing me off. And I walked out of that place pissed. I didn't want to even attack Star Wars. I didn't want to, like, you know, be like, this is ass. So I gave it like a review, like kind of like, it's not what I wanted. And then like within the next few days, I thought about all the stuff that pissed me off. And I was instantly Fandom Menace before I even knew fandom, you know, before it even existed. I was Fandom Menace.
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of upsets me that Fandom Menace now is turning against me because of me being against The Mandalorian and me being so hardcore about wanting the expanded universe reinstated, you know, as canon. And this, because that was my people before Comicsgate was my people. You know, I was Fandom Menace. Those were my boys. Those were my vloggers. And now it's, you know, they've turned against me. So it kind of sucks, but I know there are some out there in the Fandom Menace that feel exactly like I do. I started a Facebook group called The Unstoppable Fandom Menace. Haven't really done anything with it, but it's basically for those of us who don't fit in with the Mandalorian fans, which, you know, we're tired of it all. We want it all gone. We haven't forgotten the shit that they did to us, that Kathleen and Bob Iger and these assholes have been doing to us for years and to our beloved franchise. That's why I feel honestly, it's just shameful to see so many people getting on board with, you know, with what they're doing. Just anyway.
Mr. Feed says Disney is the EA of everything. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about watching Force Awakens, but after watching I remember when I watched the trailer, I was like, this doesn't really look like anything appealing. And then there was stuff that looked like just rehashes of what came before. And then after the thing came out and people started doing their reviews, I was like, okay, so it is just rehashes of everything that came before, just not as good. I was like, well, I'm not going to bother with that then.
Pathetic. We don't even need to talk about The Last Jedi. Fuck. Jesus.
Yeah,
That's literally taught. That's
trash
literally taught
fire.
in colleges for how not to write a script, literally, and not how not to direct a movie. That's literally taught in colleges.
Soul says the Kylo Ren design is some cheap throwaway wannabe Darth Revan with that dumb lightsaber. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that lightsaber when I first looked at it. I was like, wait a minute, wouldn't he just cut himself on like the guards? Like, how's that work?
See, that's what we have now is we've got, I'm going to be real with you guys, and this is going to piss some people off too, is I've been saying for about 20 years that 20 years from now, movies are going to start sucking really bad. A lot of bad creature designs and character designs because the Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z kids will be adults now working in the professional industry.
Yeah, it's starting
Now,
in Hollywood.
That shit does not prepare you. Pokemon and DBZ type art, that's fine when you're 8. But then you got to grow past it to become a real professional level artist unless you're going to do cartoons. And you're going to do that kind of style specifically. And what we've got in Lucasfilm, you can see it, for example, in The Last Jedi's creature designs and alien designs. These are Pokemon kids grown up now, that are designing these aliens. They don't look like Star Wars aliens. Like the little stupid thing that's dropping the coins everywhere in The Last Jedi. That's not a fucking Star Wars character. What is that shit? I saw one good alien design in that entire movie.
Yeah.
And that's where we are, guys. And a lot of people will disagree with me, probably vehemently, over what I'm saying here. But you are what you absorb. Those of us in our 40s, we've absorbed Simon Bisley, Jim Lee. We've absorbed Todd McFarlane art. Mark Silvestri. And these Pokemon fuckers think that they can compete with that. On an artistic level, no. You got to bring A game. Now, obviously, they have a market, and it's a very strong market. But it's never going to replace Western comics. People can think that, and they can boast it, but it never will. Because this is, those of us who want this. And I'll tell you something, a lot of weebs I know, when I show them a Western comic that's modern and really good, they go, oh, wow. And they kind of want to hate it immediately because it looks so much better than their little fucking cartoon looking manga. You know what I mean? But they still like, well, that's amazing. And, and I'm like, yes, well, that's a comic book. That's why we love them.
Yeah, you're going to get more detail and stuff with a more Western style comic.
Well, you put Rob Willis inks next to Berserk inks. Okay, I know Berserk's popular. People like that art style, but you put them next to each other, no comparison. It looks like, honestly, to me, Berserk looks amateur. I have seen some good Berserk art out there by some certain artists, but the manga itself, I saw the art in the manga. It's pretty weak. Like there's no, it's just, I don't know. It's not for me. I'll just say that. But everybody can like what they want. I'm very opinionated about what I like. I'm very specific.
So it says whenever Greg does, this is going to piss some people off. So far, I'm like, bring it, and usually get his point.
Awesome. It's nice not to be alone sometimes. Like I don't need to be a part of a herd so much, but it just sucks when everybody's against you 24/7. So that's what I love about Comicsgate. Is a lot of us are very similar in how we feel about these things. We grew up with the same stuff. So we want to bring it back. That's what Gun Demon is for me. That's my attempt at a 90s style, but with the more modern twist. And you know what was weak about Image at that time? The weak part was the writing. We all know this.
Yeah.
We're more sophisticated in our writing today. I think some writers, there were sophisticated writers then too. Like Slain the Horned God is is got to be probably the best written comic I ever read. The Bisley, the Bisley series,
Written by
what was
Pat
that?
Mills.
Yes, Mills. I was trying to remember if it was Grant or Mills. Yeah, Mills. Oh my God, it's so entertaining. There was sophisticated writing, so we want to bring that kind of writing to the high detail, popping collar art. So we basically want it to be we're working toward it being the all around, and we critique each other's stories very harshly. If you think Kemosabe's reviews, are hard, when we develop stuff, we're on top of everything. It's like James Dean Anderson tells me all the time. This is kind of his mantra, I guess, in a way, is he says, if it bothers you a little bit, somebody out there hates it. Get rid of it. So, we kind of go by that. If it gets through me and Kemosabe's filters and then it gets through James's filters, it's going to be good, because we're very picky. So that's what we're trying to establish. We want to establish Brain Cage as a standard of quality. That way, any new creators that we bring, that comes in with a good title under Brain Cage, they'll be able to launch their book. If we can properly establish this label.
Okay, Greg's he's saying Soul saying to you, Greg, okay, Berserk is kind of thin ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people love it. Absolutely.
Mr. Feet says hating Berserk is like signing a death sentence.
Right.
Yeah, pretty goddamn much.
Actually, it's not as bad as The Mandalorian, because
It's nice meeting you, Greg.
well, dislike. Oh no, I already signed my death warrant when I bitch about The Mandalorian. Berserk's nothing, because weebs already hate me anyway, and I'm cool with that. But like The Mandalorian, though, it's like it's all types now are ganging up on me. Even Comicsgate. Like, I'm out there arguing with comic skaters. I'm trying not to be too much of a cunt or nothing. I'm just, I've got my opinion, and
It's very critical.
it's very critical. I expect a lot from Star Wars. I expect a lot from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And let's put it this way,
Okay,
guys.
let's be honest here, dude. Greg, let's break it down to this. He will destroy and rip to shred even the thing that he likes the most.
No.
No, meaning
If I like it, it's working. You understand? Like, if it doesn't need to change, it doesn't need to change. But if there's something in there that could be much better, because here's the thing, man. I've been writing and developing worlds and characters for decades, and that might not mean a lot to a lot of people in Comicsgate, because Comicsgate doesn't really give a fuck about writers at all. Pretty much, unless you're a big name writer, they don't take you seriously. They act like we're writing on the coattails of artist talent. But I'll tell you one thing, without a great story and characters that are well written and a well-developed world, who the fuck wants to come back to your second book? It's not just I got somebody else knocking on my fucking door. Nobody ever comes to see me, and now I'm on a goddamn stream, and I got everybody knocking on my door.
Now you're real popular.
I'm so professional now.
So
I look so pro.
It fits our streams.
Yeah.
So what is Cray Cray? Vic is calling Greg Cray Cray.
He's crazy.
No.
That's hood talk, Sim. It's like, oh, y'all cray cray, it's a Shabuzala kind of talk, like, oh, that's Shabuzala cray cray, girl. It's that kind of thing.
Soul says Baby Yoda doesn't impress Greg LeVitre.
So
Not
it's like
at all.
My man ain't your baby's daddy type of thing. That's what you're telling me? Got it.
Well, you want to know something else? This is something else that'll make some people hate me, is I hate Funko Pops. It is the most disgusting, stupid, fucking goddamn fad since Cabbage Patch Kids. And so, no, you're never going to see Brain Cage Funkos, no matter how big we get. I can fucking promise you that. Fuck that bullshit. Grow up.
What if Kemosabe wants some?
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to.
A bunch of money.
I'm going to have to split ways with him then. Because I mean, I love the guy and the accompaniment great, but Funko Pops,
I don't know. I heard him say that you like those square heads. I don't know.
Well, he's awesome. He's Aussie. They're a little bit weird. You know, you know, whatever. We
So
give him a
sad on you,
we give him
Greg.
a
I owe you
pass.
a drink, brother. Yeah, I don't like those.
I owe you a drink, Soul, because it's nice to get a little bit of backup once in a while. God damn it, this Mando's really put me at odds with people, and it's at the point now I can't even watch most of my favorite streamers because every day all they're talking about is the fake Gina Carano controversy and all that stupid clickbait that Disney's using to keep their shit alive. This shit don't work on me, man, and I call it out, and I think it's pissing a lot of people off. But sorry, guys, that's just how I feel about it. You're welcome to shit all over my gun demon if you want in return. I mean, that's what taste is all about. We all have our taste, but I think we need to expect more from companies that are putting out multi-million-dollar productions. Because, God damn it, you don't let a fast food employee slide when they fuck up your order, do you? So that's $5, $5 to $10 order. You know, and these guys it's multi-million-dollar movies, and they're doing worse than the worst fast food workers I've ever seen. And people are just going along with it because there's nothing else to watch. We got to expect more, guys. If we don't expect more, we're not going to get more.
Yeah. Soul says there are several Morning Roast shows where I mention my disdain for Funko Pops.
My bro.
I remember a while back, like the Mugwai was saying, like, "Hey, people send me Funko Pops, and I'll find a range, like a shooting range, and shoot them." But the thing is, there's no shooting range that would let them do it because they explode since they're made out of very like vinyl and like they're very fragile. Like like have you ever thrown like a CD on like on a wall? It shatters and it breaks everywhere. It explodes. So that's how. So he wanted to do live streams of him shooting freaking Funko Pops. I'm like, dude, I will buy 2 for you.
Yes, I will too, and I will watch every one of those streams and I will share them.
That was
Now,
last
listen,
year.
guys. You know, people can like what they want, but to me, it's weird seeing adult males collecting dollies, cute little dolly things. You know, it's just weird to me. When I was a kid, and when you were a kid, Sim, we were into adult kind of stuff. You know, Star Wars was for adults. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care what George Lucas himself says. You got genocide. You got an entire planet being destroyed. You got Darth Vader, who's a nightmarish villain. And you got all these strong themes. I mean, right in the beginning of the movie, fucking Luke's aunt and uncle are roasted alive. That's not a fucking children's movie. And, you know, what's that?
I was gonna say so saying, but I like him so much that I forgive him for his Lobo Pop because that's the only pop I ever bought for myself. Like that freaking bloody Lobo, because I saw him. Right, he was one of those special edition type of thing. And I'm at a store and I just see him and he's all bloody, right, with the hook and the gun, and he just looks like he just killed them all. Like I just bought it.
Traitor.
That's the only one I have.
That's how they get you, man. They get one of the characters you like, and then they turn it into this little stupid looking thing with too big of eyes and too big of head.
Tall eyes.
Hey, it's not that thing ain't Lobo, dude. That ain't Lobo. Give me a fucking, give me a 5-inch figure or a 7-inch Black Series style figure Lobo if you're gonna do it.
I have my metal cast Lobo. I'm good.
There you go. Yeah, I just, I'm very opinionated, and some people are gonna like it, some aren't. But fuck it. I'm not gonna be fake. No, everybody, Comicsgate are the type of people that sense fakes.
Dude,
we smell them a mile away.
It's the total opposite of Lego. Remember that study that we heard about Lego? That's what they're doing. It's a one size fit all character that you could just put glued on little things and it looks like a character. So he's technically a little cosplayer. One size fit all cosplayer.
It's a cheap product to produce because all the bodies are shaped the same. They only have to change the color and like some of the details. It's just people
like
fall for this crap.
They're not that cute, more like creepy and misshaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this guy in one of the nerd groups I'm in Facebook, and he was showing off his Funko Pop collection. He has all of them, like every one that releases. And he
You
was
know
just
how
like,
they
I'm
started,
just so
right?
excited. I'm so excited about all my, I got the new Funko Pop. I'm so
You know
excited,
how
guys. Look at my Funko.
you know how they started,
Oh.
right?
Hmm.
Do you know how they started those Funko Pops? They used
Hmm.
to just sell like it was just a blank. When they first started, it's the blank that you could buy and draw over it and make it look like your character. And they started selling a lot, and they saw that a lot of people were doing that, so they turned it into Funko Pops. Started, yeah.
Fucking clown world. Oh, man. You know, toys used to be cool. About a year, maybe 11 months ago, I went out and yeah, I started going back and checking out toy sections again. I hadn't done that in a long time. And I never saw anything I liked out of all of them. Like at best, I would see one Batman figure maybe that's passable. But I look at the whole line of boys' toys, and they all look like little girl toys. Now, tell me that's not a part of the psyops. Change my mind here. That's not part of the psyops of feminizing young boys. We got to fucking. This is what the Alpha Male Champion show is going to be about. Part of it is, come on, guys, grow the fuck up. We need entertainment for adult males. Everything's for girls and women, and some of the other token demographics. Now, there's nothing for just dudes. You work your ass off out in the oil field all fucking day, 12 hours or some shit, and you go home, and what do you got to watch? You've got a female drama that's disguised as a superhero show, or a female drama that's disguised as an action show. We don't fall for that shit. Real men know what a tough guy looks like and how he acts and how he talks. And none of those little Hollywood punks do that, and especially not the women. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. Now give them superpowers, and it's believable. I can see a superpowered woman like Alita. I love Alita, Battle Angel. It's really one of the only movies of the last few years I've even enjoyed, and I've watched it probably 10 times. I love it. And it's just simple. It's just straightforward hero's journey. The character's endearing and delightful, and she's adorable. The thing is I kind of went for the same thing. Part of what I love about Alita is I kind of went for the same thing with Gunny. I wanted him to look like a badass, but I wanted him to be endearing and young looking and kind of adorable a little bit, but not on like a Funko or manga anime kind of, way too overdone level. He still has to look badass. When he goes into combat mode, his eyes become slitted and he gets into a stance, and he's not this cute little boy anymore. Now he's a weapon, a living weapon. And because that's where he's natural. That's his, combat is his natural, situation, basically.
All right, gentlemen, we are now at an hour and 42 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I think it is time to start wrapping this stream up.
Yeah, I apologize. My rants can really sometimes take some time because.
So before we shut down the stream, don't forget to sub, like, and share this video.
That's right.
And please sign up for the Gun Demon mailing list. We need your support to make Brain Cage happen in a big way. The more financing we can get behind these two Brain Cage titles is the more money we're going to be able to put to all these projects we want to launch, all this merch and all this stuff we want to do with the other Comicsgate creators too. So please support us every way you can. And we will really appreciate it. We're all very humble guys. We just want our chance to shine, really. We want to show people what we can do. So I appreciate you having me on the show, Kemosabe Way. Once again, I love your book, Company Men. And
oh man, yes,
I'm never going to get tired of that. By the way, I mean I probably will eventually, Chris. But
oh yeah, I won't hear the end of it.
Should I start calling Kemosabe Kino Subby? There we go. We'll call him Kino Subby.
Kino Subby.
It's only fair, right?
Yeah, what's good for one, it's good for the other. Yeah, everybody do go check out Company Man and Gun Demon. Yeah, I
Is it
really do. Huh?
Is it okay if I promote my stream that I'm going on later as well?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going on Etep Wokuian's The Place to Be reviews at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a Fandom Menace stream. Like I said, I have buddies over in Fandom Menace amongst the streamers and vloggers, and I figure Pete and I are going to have a fun argument about the Mandalorian and probably WandaVision. So, and it's all Fandom Menace people over there. So I could, Soul, if you could come over and back me up. Anybody that doesn't like Mandalorian, I'll probably need a little bit of assistance. Some of those guys are probably going to hate me. I triggered one of the panelists about a week ago, talking about the Mandalorian, and he, I'm just not going to say something. It was on a certain stream. I won't say which stream, but it was a Fandom Menace stream, and I know it was my comment that triggered him because he was. But yeah, it's probably going to be pretty funny. I think we're probably going to argue a bit, so it should be fun.
Soul Sayer, he says, like, share, and give Chris a sub. Maybe he'll start on time someday. Well, you know,
Yeah, maybe, and stop blaming others.
hashtag Sim.
And by the way,
thanks.
you know, after the hashtag blame Sim, don't forget, go back, tell certain adverts we need more love.
Yes, absolutely. Sim's got some cool shit going on. He's kind of told me behind the scenes some of that stuff. So make this happen, guys. Make it happen in a big way, because I want to see where it goes.
That's why I try not to say too much about it.
Well, you know, man, this is the thing about your book, Sim, is you've got that 2000 AD kind of Judge Dredd kind of, you know, that era kind of feel to it. Not many people are really doing that right now, you know, and that's why I want to see where it goes. I've seen your art like really improve, your technique and everything really improve in this last year or so I've known you. Like it seems like by the day you're getting better and better. I believe you're going to be the next Bisley one day. I really believe that. And please, guys, back Natverse so we can get another fucking Bisley one of these days, because we need another Bisley. It's almost becoming a lost art, you know, that style.
But you know, you're right. Like I grew up with 2000 AD, Judge Dredd, and Heavy Metal magazine, and this is like me mixing everything I love in one big world.
And the French books, yeah.
Like Meta Baron. Yeah, I mentioned Meta Baron before we closed, so go back my book.
Still saying I don't get why more Fandom Menace people didn't back Sunsworn, though. That's a great Star Wars alternative. My opinion on that would be simply that it's kind of like the same with like a lot of the Marvel DC, you know, old fans. They just don't want to give up on it, you know, like no matter how bad it gets. Yeah,
They don't want to. They don't want.
Better, you know.
They don't want to get invested. Like, don't forget that, you know, especially the long time like fans. They've been thrown a lot of other type of sci-fi ripoff or other type of movies that felt meh. It's the same thing in comics, right? So a lot of them are like, nah. They're just locked down. It's like, remember, like we said before, you used to be to a con, you would try and promote your new character on your book, and nobody would give a fuck if it wasn't Superman or Batman. Oh, your character is cool, but do you have a Batman? You know, it took a really, really long time, and it took CG to break that stigma.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's another thing too, is something I would like to see the CG community get away from is derivative superheroes when they're doing superheroes. I will say Ultrastar is the exception. Ultrastar is gorgeous. I love that suit design. That cover looks fucking phenomenal. So that one to me is the exception. But
Ultrastar?
Yeah, that's Patrick Thomas Parnell's new book. You know, Johnny Phantasm's creator.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
He's our Superman in Comicsgate, and that's his log line. He says, you know, DC has Superman, Marvel has what is it, Captain America. We have Ultrastar. That's his log line. Okay. So basically, he wants to establish Ultrastar as the Superman of Comicsgate, and in this case, I think a derivative character is great. But personally, most of the time I would stay, like I see Wolverine knockoffs out there. I see Batman knockoffs out there. You're always going to live in the shadow of those original characters. You know, so I don't know. It's something to think about maybe for development. you know.
What's menace?
I mean, if you make it look great,
I
you can
think
break
maybe-
any rule.
You probably
You know
meant
what I mean?
Yeah, I think he meant meme sim.
Yeah, there's the link to Ultra Star. Take a look at that cover, Chris, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
It looks
I
cool.
might have to check that out.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, let's get to wrapping it up. I think we've said all our closing statements. So thanks to the chat for joining us. Thanks, Mr. Greg, for coming on and
Thank
telling
you.
us about this
Oh,
upcoming project.
and people don't forget tonight. It's Pimp Your Project with me and Ace tonight on Joe and
Oh.
Ace's.
What time is that?
Usually it's around 10. We do it right before Bancroft.
Okay, perfect. Because I don't like to miss a Bancroft stream. That's my favorite
Nobody
stream.
does.
Yeah, that's where everybody knows your name, man. That's the community right there, the heart of it.
Hmm.
And Soul put the link to ETEP
Wakuyan.
Wakurian's The Place to Be reviews. So go check his channel out for when Greg goes in there and they have their nice little civil discussion, I'm sure.
It will be. Pete and I are good buddies. We just have differences of opinion, and we're
Yeah.
adults. So we can handle that.
It'll be a healthy debate.
It'll be fun, though. I'm sure it'll probably be funny at times because we'll probably tease each other and
Yeah,
stuff.
some good ribbings back and forth.
Yeah.
Yep. So I hope everybody has a good day, and hopefully I'll see you guys. I'll see everybody Saturday evening. Tomorrow we'll be having on Brian Kraiskow.
Oh,
Awesome. Wow,
Sweet.
Brian is actually going on a stream this soon.
Yeah,
That's-
that surprised me. Yeah, he messaged me because I had sent him a
Dude, yeah, he
invite.
may look like a big softy, but the show must go on, and he ain't that soft.
Well, I already respected the guy, but
Yep.
that's more than I expect from him right now. I would expect for him to drop away for a little while and just take it easy, because that's
Nope.
rough.
Mhm.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting because I had sent him the invite before he said anything about the tragic event.
Fucking
And,
horrible, man.
Yeah, and then he messaged me like a couple, just I think yesterday or something about being on, and I was like, oh yeah, I was not
Well,
expecting it. Yeah,
Well, let's make sure to show up, guys, and support Brian.
yeah,
Because he needs it right now.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
I feel really terrible for him.
we're gonna probably be talking a bit about the crossover we're working on.
Nice. Wait a
We're
minute. Wait a minute. I guess I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow, aren't I?
I mentioned it before. We're working on that Doc Salem and Blood Hunt crossover.
Oh, nice.
I'll be penciling, and Preston's gonna be inking.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Oh, Donde Elbano says, "Oh, I just missed the show. Ah, dang it, Donde. Well, you can always catch the replay or join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having our next stream. But do go check out Gun Demon and Company Men.
We'll see you all tomorrow.
Let's see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Later, guys.
Later.